Oh, that's okay. You warned me.
I did warn you.
I did. So it'd be a long one. So. That's okay.
But they, the council was that little loan thing at the start. All right, stuff.
Okay. Okay.
I think you're here.
It'll be a little bit more.
How many more?
Yeah, if you have any questions, yeah, just I'll be glad to answer if I can.
I know.
You mean the Rockies? You going to the Rockies?
Yeah, cool. Sure. Yeah.
I thought you might be talking about wiring.
No, I'm going to Rockies.
It's their show.
So we were chatting with the 12.
Yeah, that was fun.
We talked about the whole shoot match, target being done by April 21st.
Yeah. I hope
You did?
With some dates.
so. Right now, if somebody beats him out.
No, I agree. No, I think that's good. It's a good start.
He's a new guy. Has like general comics for a couple of years. He was out, so we were in some way and we picked him up. But he was looking pretty good, I thought. I mean, I heard, of course. But
No, that's great. That works. That's
And
how
it
you learn. That's-
No, it's recording. Bogs it down. Not for the first meeting.
you're right. You're right. You're right. Probably not for the end.
Right.
Probably to bless it later on.
He had a bad outing. He started yesterday. Last year he was 16 last year.
Got some documents. Right.
He's what he said this morning.
How's that work in the absence of the mayor? Doesn't the mayor pro tem?
All right, good evening. Welcome to the Urban Renewal Authority meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ford,
Here.
Bullock,
Here.
Amador,
Present.
Teeter, Carson,
Present.
Benson, McEldowney, Elliott,
Present.
Douglas.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is Resolution URA 2014-02. Does the board have any questions concerning this resolution? Mr. McEldowney?
No questions. I'm prepared to make a motion when ready.
Okay, Mr. Bullock, any questions?
Prepared to make a motion.
All right, Mr. McEldowney, go ahead and make your motion.
I would move to approve Resolution URA 2014-02.
Thank you. Mr. Bullock?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Will the attorney please read the title?
Title reads, Resolution Approving Amendment to 2012 Intergovernmental Agreement between the City of Commerce City and the Urban Renewal Authority of the City of Commerce City.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is a presentation from Mile High Greyhound Park Developer Selection. Will City Manager Jim Hayes please start the discussion?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I've got a very brief presentation. In fact, I'm going to skip through most of this because a lot of the first part was just a rehash of some of the loan justification. I'll jump right to the developer RFQ update. As you recall, 2 developer teams presented proposals and answered questions from the board on February 10th. And the board elected to take those proposals under advisement, and a follow-up meeting was scheduled for March 17th. Subsequent to that meeting, Woodhawk withdrew from consideration after the meeting. So at the city's request, Regen submitted their additional information a few days early, last week on February 26th. And there's a handout that first of all, I emailed it to all of you this morning, and then there's a handout on the dais, which is a cover memo, and then a 2-page response from Mr. Wells and his team. So as a result of that, the original URA was canceled on March 17th and moved to tonight, and so you can consider action on the proposal. There are really a couple of options for the board to consider during their deliberations. Number one would be to adopt a motion to instruct the URA/city staff to commence negotiations with Regen LLC, or B, reject the proposal from Regen and direct staff to issue a new RFQ from the site or consider other development concepts for the property. If you choose to elect Regen tonight and direct us to proceed with negotiations, the form of that will be a memorandum of understanding to start out. The thought would be that we would identify future timeframes, a prove-up period that would be mutually acceptable to both of us, and really just general points of negotiation for the future master development agreement. We think we can get that done in less than 60 days, maybe even as quick as 4 to 6 weeks, and then we bring that back to you for ratification, if you will, presumably in April or May. So with that, I'm open to any questions you have. And Mr. Wells is here as well.
Does the board have any questions of Mr. Hayes at this time? Mr. Bullock?
No, sir.
No? All right, your light's on.
Okay.
It always makes it tough. I see a name up there constantly, and it helps if you guys remove them. If you're the last one to speak, it won't go away. All right, seeing no questions, thank you, Mr. Hayes. Does the board have any further questions of the developer at this time with Regen? Seeing none, I'm open for a motion to select the developer. Mr. Amador?
Motion to direct the executive director to commence formal negotiations with Regen LLC in the form of a memorandum of understanding, which will include future timeframes for a due diligence or prove-up period and general points of negotiation for a master development agreement. The MOU will be presented to the URA board at future public meetings for review and possible approval.
Okay, Board Member Bullock.
Second that motion?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. McEldowney, you have discussion?
Just real quickly, I want to thank Regen for the submission of the follow-up information. We appreciate that additional effort. The information provided was quite helpful.
Thank you. Mr. Benson?
Yes, thank you. You know, I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, we were urged to buy this property for $3.5 million, apparently on the basis that other people were going to buy it, and we needed to take control of it. Then we spent another $2.5 million for the demolition work. We put out an RFQ. We got two responses, and now one of those has dropped out. There's something wrong here. I can't tell you what it is, but that just tells me, that causes all kinds of alarms to go off in my head. It's very clear that what's been proposed is not the highest and best use of this property. That's a fact. And I would vote that we go a little bit further into this process and extend it, and not do the whole thing tonight and say, let's approve this one company, the only company that's left. There's something wrong here. That's all I've got to say.
Okay. Any other discussion before we move forward? I've got a motion and a second on the floor. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
The record reflect 8 in favor, 1 opposed. Motion carries. Now, if there be no further business to come before the Urban Renewal Authority, we're adjourned. And I'll call. Excuse me? I need a minute. Yep, no problem.
I got to take off.
All right, see you, Jim.
Okay.
You did? I didn't.
Mr. Ford, we're ready to proceed.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm now going to go ahead and call to order the Northern Infrastructure General Improvement District meeting. I'll ask for the roll to be called.